Hi, let's talk about acid reflux. So I've been taking a standing prescription from my primary care provider for the past years related to omeprazole. And what I wanted to talk to everybody about is really kind of the path of discovery that I had associated with that. So my standing prescription, day in, day out, I took this pill because I had the burning in my throat, I had the burning in my chest. There were times where I couldn't swallow food, like my entire esophagus would just tighten off, and that was just my life. And so I never left home without a bottle of omeprazole in my bag. I had Tums in my nightstand, in the truck, in my backpack, in my office drawer. It was always on the ready, right? And then one day the thing happened. I was traveling overseas, hanging out in the airport, waiting for my plane to board, and the burning started, and I reached in my bag and my bottle was empty, and I didn't have any Tums. So I dashed into the local little gift shop there and pulled up Prilosec OTC, which is essentially, it's omeprazole OTC. So I grabbed that, threw it in my bag, jumped on the plane, and I'm sitting there for 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever the flight was, and I had nothing to do. So I did the unthinkable. I actually read the packaging. And I was blown away at the first thing that I saw whenever I looked at the Prilosec OTC thing. And it says, each Prilosec OTC tablet contains 20 milligrams of omeprazole. And then here it says, take 1 pill a day with a glass of water before eating in the morning for 14 days. You may repeat this 14-day treatment every 4 months or as directed by your doctor. So I did the math. I was like, okay, so I have a 14-day supply, but I take 2 pills. So I looked at my bottle, I'm like, I take more than that. So on my bottle of standing prescriptions, I would take 2 caplets by mouth every morning for these 20 milligram pills. And so this box that I had was barely going to be a 7-day supply. But if the recommended dosage is that you take 1 pill a day for 14 days and then you don't do it again for another 4 months, I was basically taking 120 days worth of medication every 7 days. I was like, that's weird. So I started looking at these side effects, and I highly recommend you break out your phone. That's what I did. I went to, I had the Prilosec packaging, and I was reading those side effects. I had sore back. What are the ones that I was I had aches and pains, general soreness, tiredness, weakness, pains in my back, my legs, and my core. There's a lot of side effects. So I went to the Prilosec page, read those. I went to the drugs.com page, read those. I went to the Mayo Clinic, and there's an omeprazole dedicated link there. Read all those, and I'm like, I have a lot of these. I would have never associated them with my my OTC pills. And then you can jump into a lot of conspiracy theory sites about the long-term effects of taking a pill like this for 2 pills a day, twice the dosage for years on end. There's a lot of stuff out there. And so I thought, well, let me debunk these, because I always try to play the devil's advocate. I couldn't find any longitudinal style studies to let me know really what's going to happen if I take this pill long term. And that also scared me a little bit. And so I just went with what I knew, and that is, this isn't required. Like, this is an optional pill. There are triggers in my life that I could control, and I started drilling into it. What are the causes of heartburn? What are the causes of acid reflux? And my number one trigger, everyone's different, but my number one trigger was caffeine. I can put away some Mountain Dew. Well, used to. I could put away some Mountain Dew. And then I would kick off my day. I had a Keurig, the K-Cups, and the whole point of the K-Cup is if you don't want to make a whole pot, you just pop in the cup. I eventually just decided to get a refillable K-Cup and a big tub of regular coffee and just dipped it in there, and I was just burning through that insanely. So I decided to go full stop. And once the headaches subsided from the lack of caffeine and the caffeine withdrawals, I realized my acid reflux went way, way, way down. And it wasn't gone, but it was way down. I was like, that's interesting. I looked at my triggers, my other triggers, and I realized my job was a trigger. The job that I had was self-induced, but it was a high pressure job, and I thought, it pays well, and there's a sense of this prestige and accomplishment, and I quote unquote like what I do, but is it worth for me looking at a lifelong, am I gonna trade off sore back, sore legs, weakness, tiredness. If you keep GI issues, you can get throat cancer. There's a lot of stuff associated to acid reflux that are kidney issues. There's a lot of things out there. I highly encourage you to look them up. And for me, the Mountain Dew and the job were not worth a life of misery, suffering, and ending this experience early. So my choices were slash my caffeine, and if you know anything about my life, I've changed my total job and life and everything. So what I want to throw out to you guys is, first off, is omeprazole bad? No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying, was it designed by the people who actually went through the FDA approval process and they actually did the research and did the submission? Was it designed to be taken at the dosage and the frequency and the duration that my primary care team just nonchalantly prescribed me? I don't know. I don't think it is. So if I'm going to take it, I'm going to take it at a minimum, and I'm going to look at what the recommendations are and then also look at my life. That's what I did. So it's not a bad drug. I think it was just an overused drug, especially in my case. And what I realized is it was all a choice. Every bit of it was a choice. I always had the power to look into my life, but I never read the documents. I never read the paper. I never actually took a step back and said, were we as humans designed to always be in pain? Were we designed to have life of uncomfortable throat issues? You take a bite of food and you can't get it down. Your throat is locked up and you end up having to spit food out because your esophagus is not going to let you in. And there's a couple times where I was actually eating something and I went to swallow and it got halfway down and just went, and I couldn't get it up, couldn't get it down. And I just had to calmly go, please, dear God, don't die here. So yeah, for me, that was not worth it. So when it comes to your routine, quote unquote routine meds, something that you're taking every single day for an issue that we all know is not necessarily a staple part of our life, an issue that we probably have more control than we want to face and say, take a look at the routine drugs, take a look at those side effects, because the side effects for this pill that I was taking, I never would have dreamed that they were the ones that they are. Why would it hurt my low back? I don't know. But I will say I'm in better health than I've ever been in my life, and I'm actually eating healthier and just being more mindful of the body that I have. So if you have any questions, I'd love to hear it, but go out to the Mayo Clinic, reputable site. You cannot refute what they put out about omeprazole. Go to Prilosec, the company that actually makes it. Read the information for yourself. Go to drugs.com. All of those places there are above reproach when it comes to, is the information accurate? And then make a decision. And I hope that if you have any questions that you're able to find the right answer somewhere. But the key to it is asking questions and understanding that you have all of the power and all the control. Just take it back. Thank you.